grown-ass man. I'll wear fucking leather pants if I want to. I'll wear a pink sports bra in public. Alright, I'm hanging up on you. So, this video is about time, which is my particularly favorite topic of all time. You know, ironically, I suppose you could say, or eccentrically. There are a few things I missed in the last video that I was meaning to say to a few people that were on YouTube talking to me in the discussion regarding speed, and people were saying that they felt as though their time was speeding up, that time was just flying by, and a lot of people said this. George Norrie's been saying this for a while on the Coast to Coast Network, and I'm thinking that perhaps it could be like because other people are speeding up and moving faster, such as myself. I'm sure there's people all over the place that are doing this now. Like I said, with the Kundalini impulse is the resonance effect that's activating the Kundalini impulse all over the place in people. You know, I'm sure that a lot of people are speeding up, and maybe other people are getting this kind of left behind effect where they're not keeping up to speed, and their time, like, if we're perceiving time faster and it's stretching out and we're moving faster, there's more, the more and more people that do that, there's got to be a pull on it. Like, it's got to be warping gravity to some extent. The rules of physics do apply universally. So there's going to be an effect. It's not just like individual perception, dilated perception. If a bunch of people are doing it, it's going to have an effect on the rest of us. This is why things are beginning to change and things are beginning to get weirder and weirder in the world, is because we're becoming more familiar, getting a better handle on quantum mechanics, which is pretty much, it's the mechanics of time. It's like time mechanics, but time mechanics, our ideology of time mechanics, speaks specifically to how the brain operates in regards to the relationship between value and matter. So it's different, where quantum mechanics speaks to like particle physics and shit. We're speaking more to the psychological aspects of matter, how psychology affects matter and why. Now, some people have already talked to me about the paying attention thing with the music. You got to be able to pay attention to two things at once, and they say, well, science has proven that the brain can only pay attention to one thing at a time. Well, two notes here. One, science hasn't proven anything. The only thing that science has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, rock solid fact, is that the rules can change. That's it. Everything else is fucking conjecture. Science has not proven anything. We just know the mechanics of how things seem to function based on what we've seen happen in the past as regards what's happening now, and what we can repeatedly, you know, what we can repeatedly concur via investigation and experimentation. But these things can change. Things can change, but that's not speaking to the matter at hand. The matter at hand, speaking to the matter at hand, is, yes, for the most part, it seems the brain can really only pay attention to one thing at a time, really concentrate on one factor at a time. You do, in fact, though, have two brains, so use them. That's what the hemisync technology with the Monroe Institute is based on, the binaural beats. It's basically, the idea is to... You hear that? I saw a creature outside. Seriously, I saw like this weird black, I don't know what it was. I mean, I guess it could have been like a gigantic black cat, but it was enormous. It was like one of those, what do they call them, cryptids. It's running around in the wilderness over here. I have this patch of wilderness over here by the railroad tracks, and I saw this thing, this gigantic black thing just shoot by. Like it looked like a big black fox. So, there's a cryptid in my neighborhood. Anyways, this is sidetracks course, so obviously I'm just going to speak tangentially. I found this in the pocket of one of my jackets. That was a wild night. But, I miss her. I'm going to get her back. Watch. Anyways, So yeah, you have two brains, make use of them. The hemisync technology, the binaural beats, can cause for you to balance out the two brains and cause for them to actually function together, which is the purpose in that is to aid in the transition between the ephemeral and perpetual self, maintaining a balance between the phantom body or the emotional body, the spiritual body, so to speak, and the physical, material body, you can call it. It's all matter. Everything's physical. Everything is made of time. Everything, as I said before in the last video, the terminal velocity video, matter only really emerges in the past. Everything that you see, everything that you experience, everything that you witness is emerging in the past. So this is speaking to the essence of time mechanics, where we say that people are perceiving time backwards, that we're comprehending in reverse or inverted. People tend to think that, well, we're looking forward into the future, right? But no, actually, you can only see the past. You can only see what's already happened, and you don't witness it. You don't witness it as it's happening. You witness it as it has happened already. You can't really get to now. It's impossible. If you do get to now, and you get to here, something very special happens, and we'll get to that later on in the course. We've already spoken to it before on a couple occasions, but I don't think people are quite really getting it, and most people are probably just missing it entirely, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason why we call the story course Approaching Nowhere. Now plus here equals nowhere. Look at the words. There's a message in that. There are values presented for reasons. It's telling you something. So, yeah, you can't really get to now. That's not technically a possibility. You can live on the cusp of it. And if you can move fast enough, you can see the probabilities in play, and you can calculate what's going to happen in the future, and in that sense you can actually look and view forward, and that's what we want to try and get everybody doing, is to turn their sights around and actually see the future and be prepped for it. And then of course there's prophetic occurrences in traveling and projections and dream works. As I've said, I do believe that I have achieved time travel for the most part via the psyche, that I have actually projected my consciousness into the past and not only relived parts of my own past, but I've altered it, and I've proven this to myself. I've actually provided myself proof of this. I can't prove it to anybody else because it from my perspective, from their perspective, it's conjecture, but from my perspective, I dropped the value in the past, and when I came back to here, I went and I investigated, and I found that value was actually there. So I'd altered something, and then also I witnessed so many different inconsistencies happening, like I said, with the Pixar movies that I've seen them before, the Mandela effect, remembering things differently. It's crazy, I know, and yeah, we're getting to that point where I'm going to start to sound crazy here, but we got to go there. If we're going to get to now, if we're going to get back to here, we're going to have to go through that wall of craziness. But don't skip on this song. Anyways, this is going to be a sidetrack course speaking to time, and I guess I'll pick up with the lucidity course as well, or maybe I'll try to merge these two, the series, not the course, but that's essentially what I wanted to say, is speaking to how you do in fact have two brains, and you can make use of both of them at once, and that's a measure by which you can move faster, you can multitask, you can actually accomplish multiple things at a time. Now, another thing that you can do via projections and working with the phantom body and DreamWorks, I was talking to Candace about this yesterday. In case anybody that was part of her live cast where I needed a profit and I bitched at her, I pushed Candace to pull a card for me, to take a draw for me off of her special deck. She actually used her special deck, so Candace, if you see this, thank you so much. That was awesome. And she did give me the correct lead, which led me back to Nori, so we're headed in that direction now. But This is involving, I'm going to do a video on this for the sexuality course, so no worry talking about what's going on there with the prophet thing, but I got a cue that I needed a prophet regarding my love life and a person that I want to be with, a person I really like a lot, a person I dearly love and I want to be with, and I'm trying to get her back, but we have a kind of an on and off thing, but I needed a prophet, so I went to Candace because she's my prophet, and I bitched at her on her live cast, her live video, where she's doing draws for people, and there was a few people, especially some woman named Rhonda, who got really mad and put like mean faces and yelled at me and said she should have blocked me. It was like, you don't know what's going on, madam. You need to back off of it. Don't be offended by things. That's what we're trying to get at. You shouldn't be so offended by everything. Yeah, I'm gonna be pushy. I'm gonna be a fucking dickhead. That's who I am. That's what I am. That's my job. It's my job to push you guys to move faster. And Candace, you did a fantastic job. You fucking kicked ass. Thank you so much for that. That was awesome. And anyway, Candace and I caught up afterwards, and we were talking about another topic wherein you can actually be in two places at once if you kind of master this projection aspect. And I was doing this yesterday where I was sitting here dicking around on the phone. I was taking a break and playing that little Zelda game on the phone. And at the same time, I was in my old childhood house wandering around looking at things that I had from the past and talking to people from my past via the DreamWorks. Like, I'm here and there at the same time, and you can kind of open that third eye, which that's the second aspect I wanted to speak to from what I was saying earlier just now in this video, is that not only do you only witness matter as it's happened in the past, but you're only witnessing it in the brain, so you're actually only seeing the psyche of it. Really, from our perspective, in our actual experience, what we really experience as human beings, you only experience the mind. You only experience memory. Everything is made of memory. You only see the past, and you only see it in the mind. So that's essentially right then and there is the existential proof that you are existing in the soul, that the world is your mind, it is your soul. So I think that's about all I needed to say for now. I just wanted to cover those things that I missed, to get ahead of a totally ordinary person who has nothing to do with me, not at all a spy. She is not, by any measure, one of my most accomplished students of all time. She's just a random, ordinary YouTube person who does investigation work for us. Anyways, Spirit Lightbody, if you watch this, dude, we need to do an interview. Seriously, we got to get ahead of the curve here and present ourselves as being consolidated. We got Miss Merovingian, we got Candace is coming aboard, we got another kid who's coming aboard, and you're one of our top guys, man. You're awesome. Your channel's bitching. Let's fucking get this shit rolling. Move faster, guys. Anyways, I think that's about it. Love you guys all. Thank you for watching. Sorry it's all over the place, but that's the purpose of this. Just wanted to cover those things for you. Keelah, Taerve, siari. Namaste.